This year there was World Cup at the same time with Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Just wondering from your position, how were you thinking about actually maybe leveraging some of the success of the England national team at the World Cup, and what were you doing in that direction?
Yeah, so from a Wimbledon digital perspective and social media perspective, whenever you go up against a World Cup or a Euros, which is every 2 years in the cycle, it's hard. There's a lot of eyeballs elsewhere, and ultimately you stand or fall on the quality of what's going on the court, on the pitch. This year with England doing so well and getting unexpectedly so far, a lot of attention was on football. From an IBM marketing perspective, we looked at it and we had a conversation, which was, how do we acknowledge it without going head to head? So in a marketing and advertising battle, IBM focused around Wimbledon versus Coke activating around the World Cup. We're not going to spend the same amount of money. We're not going to produce the same kind of content. I'm not going to buy 27 TV slots in order to get my brand out there, and it's just not going to happen. But nonetheless, the football's happening, so how should we think about that and try and combat it? And what we did was we actually decided to link tennis to other sports. So we'd done some research and some work where we'd analysed 25 years plus of media and written content about the great Wimbledon champions over the last couple of decades, which we'd done to uncover what does it take to be a great champion. Yeah. But what we then did was we said, okay, well, what are the similarities between those great champions and their attributes with other sports? So the link to football that we had was, what's the similarity and what could one sport learn from another between what's it like serving for a match on centre court versus taking a penalty in a penalty shootout? Because England, when I was doing the research for it, up until this tournament, had gone out of 50% of their last tournament since 1990 on penalty shootouts. 50% on penalty shootouts. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And you talk to footballers, you listen to footballers talking, a lot of whom were in the run up to the championship, into the World Cup, and they're saying you can't practice it, you can't practice what it's like. And I was going, well, you've gone out of 50% of the tournaments, you need to work out how. Just saying I can't is not good enough.
Yeah.
Work it out. So what we then looked at was we looked at Serena Williams, because she has the best, in our analysis using our AI and our data, the best performance under pressure in terms of serving at match points and serving to save break points and serving at those key moments. And she obviously has a lot more practice, because every time she's serving to save a set or serving to save a game or serving to stay in a match, she's effectively taken a penalty shootout. Yeah. So she has a lot of opportunity to practice, but nonetheless it was an interesting narrative and positioning for us. So we created some video content linking tennis greats and their attributes that link to other sports. So we did it for football, and we did some around durability with, again with Serena, but also Tiger Woods, who happened to then, come and have a storming time at the British Open. And we were able to activate around that, and we were able to, we planned our content to go out the first game after the group stages for when England were playing, and it just so happened they went into a penalty shootout. So it was kind of, we planned for it to happen, and then it happened, and it was all quite nice. So.
Yeah, because I thought that was really smart, because I'm guessing going into head-to-head battle with the World Cup when England's in the quarterfinal is an uphill.
Yeah, you're not going to, don't fight it, go with the flow, and create a narrative link. We're talking about stories. I'm creating stories with data and using AI to do it. That's what I'm doing. But it's create a story around sport that links football to tennis in a way that is interesting to both parties. Because one of the things that Wimbledon themselves have done with their own data segmentation around their audience is they've segmented around 6 broad fan types. The largest one is a general sports fan, and that general sports fan's first go-to sport will not be tennis. It will likely be football.